Welcome to another edition of Real Estate Investor Talk, and I'm sitting here with Izak Petersen. Izak is the CEO of Dipula Income Fund. They are a listed REIT with a property portfolio all around South Africa. So Izak, thank you very much for the opportunity. Tell us a little bit about, because you are in, I think, all the provinces just about.
When we first entered the market, I think we were fairly aggressively pursuing assets in underinvested areas, but it wasn't exclusively that. We also invest in convenience centers in urban areas, right. And that stock is working very well for us now at the moment. I mean, our latest purchase in that area is Chili Lane in Sunnyhill. Very exciting. We've got retailers knocking on our doors wanting to get in all the time. Mm-hmm. And then our approach to the other classes, here I'm talking about industrial. Mm-hmm. And office. Mm-hmm. So typically in office and industrial, we would focus on the urban areas.
Right. So tell us a little bit about your growth, because it's been quite rapid from when you first listed in 2011.
We started with fairly small little assets, high street. And I think when you grow to a certain size, it starts stretching you. So strategically what we do is we sell the smaller assets and we get ourselves into bigger assets so that we can utilize our teams more efficiently.
Right.
And so most of our growth has been acquisitive growth in terms of buying assets and not necessarily buying other companies. I think we're at a stage now that we might make the transition to consolidating, in other words, buying competitors. Mm-hmm. And I expect reasonably rapid growth in the next 24 months in our fund.
Right.
Even more rapid than where we come from.
Okay. So your other role is you also the chairman of the South African REITs Association, and obviously you converted to a REIT. When did the Dipula Income Fund convert to a REIT?
I think the REIT legislation has been in place now for about 4 years.
4 years, so 4 years. So tell us a little bit about that transformation from moving from just a listed stock to REIT. Has that been successful?
I think the creation of REITs in SA has been phenomenal. Mm-hmm. It's been great for the sector. Mm-hmm. For a few reasons. I mean, one of them is that this is a globally recognized structure. Mm-hmm. So when you mention REIT in London or in New York, people know what you're talking about.
Right.
I think when you're an investor investing in the REIT space, mm-hmm. you're assured that regulation is good, tax is pretty much well defined in terms of how we deal with that situation. Mm-hmm. And I think the behavior of REITs to a large degree is then also regulated by the restrictions that's put on them in terms of the things they can and cannot do. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if we look at just recently, I think we look at the last, since the advent of the listed property sector has done exceptionally well in South Africa in particular. Mm-hmm. There has been a little bit, it's slowed down a bit this year. Mm-hmm. And how do you see it panning out? How do you see 5 years' time? Do you think it's going to...
I'm personally concerned about the fact that we're not employing enough people in South Africa at the moment.
Sure.
I'm quite concerned about the fact that we've got slow economic growth mm-hmm. in SA at the moment. Mm-hmm. And obviously things like where the rand goes and so on is of great concern for us. Right. Because we're a very interest rate sensitive sector. Mm-hmm. So obviously the higher interest rate, the more depressed the pricing is in our stocks.
Sure.
So the past 12 months have been fairly horrible for our sector. I mean, we're down more than 20% on a year-to-date basis. However, I think having said all of that, I believe that you've got exceptionally competent management teams running our REITs. And I do think that given that and given the exceptional quality of tenant that resides within the REIT, you're probably going to see that stabilize going forward, because 20 is a little bit overdone.
Yeah.
And I'm fairly confident that the sector will continue to report positive growth numbers, mm-hmm. and will continue to be an inflation-beating investment for investors out there.
Right.
So will we shoot the lights out as we've been doing for the past 15 years or so? Mm-hmm. Maybe not for the next 2 years, mm-hmm. but I think you'll have a reasonable amount of stability in the sector. Right. And it gives us all a chance to clean up our portfolios, to get a bit smarter in what we're doing, clean our businesses out, and the moment things stabilize, which I'm fairly positive they will. I mean, if you just look at today alone, we've got all the big skies in the country,
Yes.
and there's positive speak there.
Yeah.
We've got a great man now leading this country. I think going forward, things can only stabilize and we'll rebuild again and we'll deliver great results for investors in the sector.
Well, I think on that note, Isaac, thank you very much for the opportunity. I wish you all well going forward. And so far, I think wonderful growth, and it's so good to see somebody that's really confident in South Africa and the future, which is wonderful. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you, Isaac.